world's best gather here. XBL baseball starts now.
It's crushed to the moon, and we're tied.
He picks it up on the second, over to first in time for the double play that ends the inning.
That's gone.
Oh my, oh my, oh my.
Trying to repeat.
It's good!
And Homer to the pen! This game is over!
Oh! Crushed! Left field! Off the pole!
Domingo Bell! Deep center field! Carrying! And it's gone! That was hit hard. Left center field. Did she do it again? To the wall!
Swung on Bell to the deep left field. Is this baby gone? A grand slam!
Champions! The AAA World Series is over! What a live shot!
I can't believe my eyes.
Good evening, everybody. Welcome to another night of some XBL playoff baseball. Here in the semifinals, we have games 3 and 4 to showcase for you between Mush and Wish. It has been a good series, although it is a 2-game series lead in favor of the Astronauts. They've been able to clean things up in the later innings of games 1 and 2, really putting on a show with a couple of deep home runs to entertain the crowd, as Mush and the Curse look to steer the ship back on course here. These two have a coveted playoff history between last season and this season. Ox, I was actually just taking a peek as we were chatting here and noticed that in the playoff career head-to-head, these two are now tied, I believe, at 4 and 4. So these two definitely know how to get things done and play each other tight. It's very interesting. I'll let you go ahead and dive into some of the keys to the games we'll be seeing this evening.
Well, let's be honest. How are you, by the way, Zlat? But thanks for having me here tonight. I don't envy either guy. You know what I mean? It's not fun to hit against either one of these pitchers. Two of the best in the XBL, two of the best in the world at pitching the baseball, and two of the best all-around players too. So it's very interesting that you said Mush and Wish are now even head-to-head playoff history because Wishbone's on his revenge tour. Last season, Mush shocked everybody but me, really, on his way to the World Series for the XBL. But both these guys are real similar players, really, really good pitchers. They're both really good in the run game, which, as you see, our keys listed, those are two of them. The run game and the pitching duels that you're sure to see, and that's what we already saw in the first two games. Was really tight, low-scoring games early, and it just came down to who had the big swings late in games, our late inning heroics. Zlat, you and I have both played these guys a lot. Anything else you could add to to this matchup, to these guys and their playing styles?
Yeah, I think, you and I have experienced it with both of these guys. They're just really, really good at taking advantage of the smallest opportunities. Manufacturing runs, of course, that is the bread and butter for the Curse in Mush's game plan. He does a really great job at that, and it pairs nicely with how successful and how surgical he is on the mound. He just continues to nail the corners of the zone and really forces you to have to take on more risk, makes you swing at pitches you're not super comfortable at swinging at. There's a couple of people in the league you can kind of sit and wait for a mistake pitch, maybe once every at bat even, but you're not going to see that here at this level. The quality of gameplay is too high between both of these guys on the mound, so they're absolutely going to push your plate approach to the limit, and they're not going to give you anything easy. So that's not to say that they're perfect. I mean, they do have their occasional slip-ups, as we saw a couple times on both sides. It just kind of seemed like the Astronauts, took advantage of more of those moments so far in the series, but there still could be a long way to go. We're only 2 games in, and it's a best of 7, so things are definitely shaping up to be interesting and entertaining here tonight. if you don't mind, Ox, one other thing I did notice as I was mentioning stats earlier, I just for fun, I pulled up their regular season career head-to-head statistics, and I see that apparently Wish has won every matchup. It's only been over 3 seasons, 16, 17, and 18, but Wish has earned the sweep every season so far. So I do find that interesting with how, Mush kind of forced his way on the radar in the playoffs last season and went on such a great heater. And I kind of hate to use that term because it almost diminishes how impressive it was. It wasn't really a flash in the pan as he's shown. He's here again in the semifinals. So just impressive stuff.
Yeah, I think making it back to the semis obviously proves it wasn't a fluke on Mush's end, and anybody who knows him or has talked to him knows he's just a really, really smart baseball player, and he picks up on things as good as anybody I've ever met as you go. And one of the only guys I know to even beat Wishbone in a playoff series other than Lazy. So it's a titanic matchup here in the semis. One thing, like you said, neither player's perfect. It's good to note that these are being played at 93 ego and not 92, what the regular season ego was played at. And yeah, I mean it's going to be 2 electric games by 2 of the most electric players in the league and masters of the grind. So I'm excited to call these 2 with you, Zlotty, and without further ado, let's get the action rolling.
Yeah, well said. Give us just a moment here, folks. We'll transition over to the start of Game 3. Sit tight.
The Cross-Platform Baseball League's 17th season has already seen its fair share of history and all-time moments as the AA and AAA champions have already been crowned in style. Tonight, the final battle rages onward towards XBL's ultimate prize, the World Series Championship. 2 combatants remain from a field of worthy competitors with their chance to walk away with near eternal glory when all is said and done. The upstart and upset king Mush and his team tried to reverse the San Diego curse against the playoffs' most familiar fiends, Lazy and the Tokyo Black Jackals, on a quest for the record 5th championship. It's time to see who comes out on top. The cross-platform
Alrighty, folks, here we go into Game 3. Sorry for the delay there. I didn't realize there was an urban queued up in that scene, so we'll have to clean that up. But got the start of Game 3 here. Ox, any fun early game predictions?
I think you got to look for the curse to really bounce back. He's the king of the adjustments. He's the king of observations, and he's going to have a game plan to combat what Wishbone did to him in games 1 and 2. But honestly, both those games were anybody's to win halfway through them. 2 things I got to look out for in this series, Zlot, is number 1, piss on Gus Grissom. How often can Mush keep that guy off the bases? That's going to be key. And number 2 is I think Mush is finally fed up with Parque de Janeros. Can't wait to see that guy pick a new home park.
Yeah, I think a lot of people are on the same train of thought there with Parque. Although, if I recall correctly, I think Mush had played predominantly in the here at Red Rock, so this is kind of like a series of two home stadiums for him.
Yeah, that's true. A lot of memories he's made here at Red Rock, and we got Fred Hayes on the mound for the Knots. This is Wishbone's guy, the screwball pitcher, the high velo. Fred and Ed, his two aces. He usually goes one high velo, one mid velo for game 2. So gonna be tough for Mush here early to get something going against a stud pitcher like Fred, and you see Wishbone's dealing early. What a take.
Yeah, it's full count, 2 outs here, swung on, gonna be driven deep to center with that low pitch trade activating, but not deep enough to do any damage here. It's 3 up, 3 down for the Curse.
One thing to watch when Mush is hitting, he's really been working on his power swing, even though he's a notorious contact swing hitter, but he struggles against great pitching to be able to power swing effectively, so I think you'll see him use contact swing a lot more, because Wish is a guy that you just can't get comfortable against on the mound.
Yeah, we did it appeared that Wish was picking up on the tendencies of like the bottom outside corner, just continuing to be pounded in there, and eventually, he made Mush pay for it late in games 1 and 2, as you mentioned earlier, those later innings. Wish's bat started to come alive. This time he has great discipline and takes a nice walk.
Yeah, BB Prone activated their 3-1, and he who must not be named, Gus Grissom, starts off the inning with a walk. That is not what you want to do to a Steeler with his amount of speed. He's got such a weak bat, you really got to make him earn his way on, but Gus gets a freebie. You hate to see it.
Yeah, we're going to see the controlling of the run game here, as there's the Steeler trade, of course.
There's the second pitch out of the at-bat. Yeah, like you said, control the run game is huge for both these guys. It's such a huge part of both of their identities. They build these teams to get 2 or 3 stolen bases a game.
Difficult one to get to there. It's a bit of a weak contact and caught there by the second baseman. That had a chance. If it got a better barrel, that was going in the gap out there in right center.
Now every batter, through the heart of Wish's order, Mush has got to be worried about Gus every single pitch, and you see now he's already behind 3-0.
Oh, dangerous pitch taken there. Did not have the green light. Wish will look at it this time, and this one does go over the second baseman's head. There's not going to be enough time there to advance the runner past second base, so we're going to look at a situation here for John Glenn. Bad ball hitter hitting .714 with a homer. A few ribbies. This is a pretty big moment here in the first inning. That was a juicy pitch to swing on.
I'm not a guy who roots for people to get hurt, but I wouldn't mind seeing John Glenn or Gus Grissom pull a hamstring or something. It could be a double play.
Yeah, a bit of a caster's curse or wish there, if you will, because it's a double play there from the bad ball hitter to end the inning.
I'm giddy right now, Zlot.
This is a dangerous combo to have Ox casting Wish's games, but here we are, ladies and gentlemen.
No, you guys know I love Wishbone.
Oh, no!
Oh, look at the drop at first.
0.2%, and it wasn't even in a clutch, high-pressure situation. This just gives a free base to the Curse here with a lot of speed.
Wow, and that was a great play wiped away by the shortstop, who I think is John Glenn. So back-to-back bad luck there for the Knots. And now Mush going to try to bunt. Wasn't a great one, but he does move the runner with John Cup.
Yeah, it was hanging up there for just a moment. I was wondering if the pitcher had a chance to slide in and double up the runners. That would have been quite the play, but instead he's going to try and manufacture a run the old school way. Runner at second. The count goes 0-2 quickly here, painting that outside corner. We're going to see a cutter challenging inside. That'll go foul and should be just barely out of the range of the third baseman. That was closer than I thought.
Buzz nearly made a great play. And yeah, you're right. Wishbone is really pounding that low and away four-seamer. That cutter missed where he wanted it to go, but shortstop was able to grab it. That could have been an RBI single.
Let's see how the Mind Gamer trait does here. as Fred Hayes has a runner on third. He's really hoping to prevent scoring.
You know, one of the biggest things Wishbone did in the offseason for his roster is add accuracy back to his pitchers. A season ago, he went away from that accuracy. As you see, Mush will get the action started here with an RBI 2-out hit to make it 1-0 Curse.
Yeah, they're taking full advantage of that free base given up in the beginning of the inning. That was, you know, due to RNG. It wasn't really much that Wish could do about it, but
Yeah, that's an unearned run for you keeping score at home.
Great speed again at first. Ball swung on. First baseman was hoping to snatch that before it hit the ground, but it goes foul. Great eye. Full count here. Runner will be on the move. Pitch up in the zone. It's going to float into the center fielder's glove here. So we have our first run of the game, Ox.
Oh my gosh, Metalhead is just on something else tonight. They didn't count that play at first base as an error. I guess the scorekeeper said the runner would have beaten it, but we all saw the play. He was going to be out at first, but the first baseman, Bob, bungled it. So it might actually count as an earned run against Wishbone.
Bit surprised to see that one not sent over the fences. I feel like at the ends of game 1 and 2, you know, we were seeing those balls fly quite a bit. So maybe they took a bit of a pause in their series after 2 games. That's pretty standard.
You know, look for Wishbone. He almost exclusively uses power swing, but when he gets Gus Grissom and the hitter previous to this one up to bat, he does like to go contact swing with those high-speed, low-power guys.
Yeah, that's a good approach from him. Definitely seems to work. We just saw a mojo increase for the diving play from the second baseman there. That could be pretty big here as the game progresses. We're still fairly early on, of course, here in the second inning. 2 outs. Now the count has gone 2-1. Bit of a payoff pitch here. It's swung on, and that should be a single into left field. The diving or sliding left fielder's not quite able to snatch it.
Like Peacock made a great play, but umpire rules the ball did touch the ground before the glove.
Jack Schmidt had a home run earlier in the series, and he finds a good barrel on that one. It's a single back up the middle, a 2-out single. Runners now here at first and second. It should bring up the pitcher and Fred Hayes. Try to do some work himself here. See if he can push a run across the plate. There's average speed at second, but if it's a well-hit single into the outfield, it should score at least 1.
You know, it's interesting. Both of these guys, such great strategizers and game planners, but it's a bit surprising that neither of them are fans of the shallow outfield. You know, obviously, guys like myself who use shallow don't do it often. As strike 3 blown right by Fred Hayes at the mound, and Mush gets out of trouble, but you know, against hitters like that, I like to play shallow so that a weak hit doesn't burn you. And neither one of these guys will do it, though. As you'll see, they'll probably leave the outfield alignment alone the entire of the set.
Yeah, I don't know. Maybe I can take partial credit because I feel like every time I go shallow, people are hitting balls to the fences and getting inside the park home runs. So I don't know. Maybe it's not always worth it.
It does happen, but you know, if you watch Spaceman versus me in our set, you've seen him rob a lot of good hits from my low power guys by playing shallow. And you saw a hit just now by Mush that could have been erased by the shallow outfield, but you're right, it can definitely burn you if you miss your spot. That's why it's even more crucial to be perfect on the mound.
As we see another bunt there, similar to the second inning, moves the runner up when there was no out, so now 1 out, runner in scoring position. This is exactly what Mush wants to do.
Yeah, this is his game plan, his formula to a T. Get a guy on, bunt him to second. Now he's got 2 hitters in a row to have a chance to drive a run in, and contacts, might have been a power swing, I'm not sure, but that one was driven well to center field, and he gets nothing to show for it.
Yeah, Wishbone a bit fortunate there to see that one go into the glove, which means there's now 2 outs, so we're still, as a Curse fan out there, you're hoping to see a single of some kind just to keep the momentum offensively, as, you know, the Curse offense so far this series had been It's a bit quiet, all things considered. Now leading us here in Game 3, score of 1-0.
Just going high and in with that screwball, and it gets him looking twice. That is such a tough pitch, not only to track, but to react to when it starts at you and breaks to the inside corner of the plate. Surprised Wish went back to back, the same pitch, same location, but it worked both times and froze Mush, and he gets nothing to show for that leadoff base runner.
See a mojo down there, I assume, for the pitcher here.
Yeah, all things considered, Cherry, despite that first inning, a lot of trouble, has been doing well, but there goes Wishbone, and that's his formula, getting a base runner on and stealing second base. Perfectly executed.
That one's deep. That's surely going over the fence. It's deep enough out there in center, and we have a lead change here. The Astronauts find another home run in the series. It is a 2-1 ball game, Ox.
And that was one small swing for the Knots and one huge swing for Mankind. Neil Armstrong goes deep.
Ken Mattingly steps in here. He's known to send balls to the fence, but this one's going to actually be snagged and robbed by the shortstop. A nice time jumping play there. Pierce are going to have to really gather themselves after allowing their lead to fall through their hands, even though it's early. That always hurts to see the home run go ahead. It's going to have to clean it up a bit in the zone here as well. Starting to challenge Wish in other areas such as the high inside corner, but he's just missing by a couple pixels.
Yeah, and Mush's starting pitcher already starting to get close to tiring here. Losing stamina just ever so slightly, 50 pitches, and we're only 2 1/3 in for Buster Cherry, so starting to face a little bit of adversity here, trying to get length out of the starter, and you know, Wishbone didn't have to manufacture any runs. He hit the 2-run bomb and did it the easy way.
He might run himself, yeah, he hit himself into a double play there. Not a great pitch to swing at. Maybe he's looking for something else and got caught in the middle. We did see the whiffer trade activate, so it's definitely not easy to hit with 30 contact or whatever might have been there. But in any case, he still walks away after the 3-inning set there with a 1-run lead. He's going to look to deal with a leadoff single now from the Curse as they're trying to swing momentum back in their favor.
Yeah, and that's honestly 2 innings where Mush has been in trouble on the mound and gotten clutch double plays from Buster Cherry, and you see yet another batter in this inning leadoff hit. Leadoff batter reaches and steals second base. Both guys will do that a lot.
Oh, he chose
Wish
wrong.
goes to third.
Probably predicting Mush to try some sort of diddle and kill the momentum of his runner, but he didn't, and he steals the free bag. This ball's going foul. Should and is caught by the first baseman. Not enough space there to advance the runner, so odd sequence there, but there's runners at the corners with 1 out. Potential double play ball here to short. It's on to second, on to first. Too much speed. We have a tie game.
Wow, you know, I'm really surprised that after Mush got the runner to third with nobody out, first and third, nobody out, he swung at the first pitch. And then first pitch with the next batter, they were strikes, but one was a pop-up to first and one was nearly a double play. Mush fortunate to get that run in.
Yeah, we've
And
seen...
now with 2 outs, another stolen base.
Exactly. We've seen some great, basically perfectly timed steals from Mush this inning. Manufacturing runs, almost a hit by pitch situation. If it runs the count full, it's going to go up and in. That ball's driven into left field. There's a decent enough arm on that left fielder, so there's no chance of advancing, but a good 2-out single to keep the inning alive here with the runner in scoring position. That brings Buster Cherry into the batter's box, the pitcher who was tiring, as we noted, in the previous half inning.
Yeah, these spots are really, really tough. I've been in similar ones in my playoff series. And third, fourth, fifth inning. Oh, and Buster's going to get the big hit.
What a day for him. He also advances that lead runner to third. It's yet again runners at the corners, 2 outs here. The RBI 0, 1 spot hitter. Drew Peacock steps in. Oh, he missed a bit of a
Bad
cookie
pitch
there.
Yeah, I don't know. I was just about to say I think Mush should pull the trigger and yank Buster Cherry, go for the pinch hitter now, and get the lead back. But he just went ahead and did it with Buster. You know, see that often. But hats off to Mush there. You know, maybe he was potentially thinking if Wishbone, if he did pinch hit there with 2 outs and the pitcher up, Wish could just walk the pinch hitter and get to the RBI 0 leadoff man. That's kind of a tricky trait to deal with if you're Mush, the leadoff guy.
Yeah, it's a good game management point you make there. You really have to know your opponent's roster, and that goes to say you need to know their traits and things for these types of situations. So ultimately that decision by Mush paid off, and let's see a nice leadoff single here for Wish. But yeah, it's those little caveats that add up throughout the game and series that tell the whole story. So.
And yeah, those are the things that we don't get to, I mean, we got to see it a little bit when they pause and think about it, but you don't actually know what's going through their mind. We're just speculating, but those all are things running through your mind in a big playoff series like this. You try to plan for every batter, what traits are active, like you said. And Zlot, you know what's been crazy to me so far here in Game 3 is how many times each guy has gotten a leadoff base runner on first base. As Wish is cooking up something here for an answer in the 4th.
Yeah, runner in scoring position with nobody out, 2 runners on, and he's able to quickly get that reticle over to the right-hand side. We've seen 2 base hits to the right side of the field so far. This one is going to be an infield fly. No shenanigans to be had. The ump was all over it.
I know it's cringe, Lottie, but I can't tell you how many times it wouldn't have mattered there. But if you don't actually go get under the ball and you get way behind it or way in front of it and let it drop, sometimes the game will not call the infield fly. You can pick it up, throw it, and go third to second and get the double play, Little League style. It's a bit Bush League, but it does happen if you're looking for it.
We see another out here. It's the second out of the inning, but it's somewhat productive as it moved the runners to second and third. A diving play by the second baseman and too much speed from the batter. We're going to see a pickle situation, and he pulls it off. I thought Wish was going to be dead to rights. Instead, it's another run tacked onto the board. Oh no, the oldest trick in the book, and Mush has fallen for it.
He fell for the okie dokie. I thought Mush was wise to it, but I've been in the same spot myself. Even though you know you expect him to diddle, you just don't have time, and Wish is going to really make it hurt here.
Just over the center fielder's head. I was wondering if he needed to jump. The ball hits off the wall and scores yet another run. Oh, that diddle is really coming to haunt Mush here, as the inning could have ended at 3 apiece.
Yeah, so hard to keep your composure and not be tilted now if you're Mush. I was just about to say Cherry probably needs to come out of this game, but he does get bailed out there with the pop-up. And just like that, Mush took the lead in the top half. Wish takes it right back with 3 more in the bottom half. And it could have, you know, the infield hit, we all knew he wasn't going to get the runner at first. You got to try. But he had him out by 20 feet at home plate. Wish got a little greedy there. Not sure if his intention was to try to diddle that run in. But, oh, look, a shocker. We got a leadoff base hit here by the curse. But, you know, after the diddle happened and then you give up one off the wall, that's tough.
Well, a nice barrel ball there. Absolutely. This is going to score that run. We're going to see the leadoff single turn into the 4th run for the curse here. It's a nice double, and that brings up Smash Herman, who has some great stats paired with the fastball hitter trait. He's locked in already, and this reliever is tense as she has just entered the game here.
Bush greeted her quite rudely, Valentina, as you know, we've already seen we've seen combined run total that is greater than their combined runs for the entire series so far. Both guys scoring. We've got 9 runs. I think we barely saw 10 between games 1 and 2 combined. We're only halfway through.
Oh no, the reliever goes down after the comebacker to the face. That'll actually be a run as well to tie the game. Everything is teetering here in the middle innings. Look at those stats, just completely shredded, but Wish feels like he has no option other than to continue letting her throw. And look at
She's gonna
that.
get a double play after she gets
That's
annihilated.
incredible.
Kind of unfortunate for Mush there. He was cooking that inning, and Valentina had done absolutely nothing of value before that last double play. He came in and gave up a single, and then a double, or triple, excuse me, with no outs, and then got smoked by a comebacker, and then she finds her, enough gumption to get out of the inning. But we've got a lot of fireworks in this one so far. We're 5-5 in the fifth.
Yeah, things are looking lively here. It's another lead-off single, almost a double, but the center fielder had the range to pick that one up. I'd like to shout out Sham in the chat, mentioning the revenge for the diddle there to get the comebacker. Just took all the rage out and smashed that ball back into injuring the opposing pitcher. Typical metalhead moment.
Crazy, and I just can't wrap my mind around how many times we've seen a leadoff base hit or leadoff base runner reach base with nobody out here for both sides. It's been almost every single half inning.
Wish utilizing the same page of the playbook as Mush, as we see is a no-out bunt situation, moving the runner from first to second. This ball sounds like it's hit well off the bat. It's arcing over that left field wall, and Wish has stolen a 2-run home run here to take a lead yet again.
Zadi, that was a great pitch by Mush. It was on the corner. It was low and away. It's hard to get your barrel on that. But take a look at the bunt by Wish, the small ball. You see these guys both employ the same formula for scoring. They like to get that guy to second base. But for that hitter, it was doubly critical for the guy to get in scoring position because RBI Hero activated and RBI Hero went deep. And now Wish follows up that home run with a double to the gap. And Mush's new reliever in the game not doing much better than Valentina.
Yeah, I don't recall off the top of my head how he fared in Game 1, but this reliever is getting eaten alive by the Astronauts' batting order. Yet another run pushed across there. It's an RBI single, and that's going to bring up the reliever who is sure to be pinch hit for. But I recall in Game 2, we saw this reliever enter, and after just one pitch allowed, what was that, a 3-run home run late in Game 2. So Wish has done his scouting on this pitcher for sure.
And Mush has no answers for these Knots bats right now. Not only can he not avoid hard contact, but all this hard contact finding holes. And here's the man, Gus Grissom. He's going to line out here. Stepped in there, locked in, and now Neil Armstrong, who went deep earlier in the game, steps in with 2 on, 2 out.
He's got that boosted contact here against the weak-handed pitcher, so trying to negate the advantage.
I just can't believe how back and forth this game has been, and every time one guy, makes strides or has an answer, the other guy has, so far Wishbone's had an even bigger answer.
Yeah, they're going blow for blow as there's a walk there to load the bases. A dangerous decision as it brings up Ken Mattingly, who has plenty of power, plenty of pop in this bat. 2-0 count, and the payoff pitch is a curveball driven into center field, easily handled. We're going to see the throw shockingly to third. Was expecting it to go to second, but that allows the runner to move up. So it's none other than John Glenn, who surely we see an intentional walk here, Ox.
I wouldn't be pitching to this guy, I can tell you that.
He pitches to him, and it's caught by John Cook. Comes up with a nice gem there at first base, so quite a bit of damage yet again. It's a 5 spot for the Astronauts there in the 5th inning. It's a 5-run lead as the score overall here is 10-5. The Curse are looking for answers and to exchange another blow, try and tie this game up. Oh, that one sounded great off the bat, but it hung up. It's going to be the first out
Let me
of the
just
inning.
put this in perspective for you guys so far in this game. So Mush was held 0 runs through the first 6 innings. I believe both games 1 and 2. He didn't score hardly any more than 2 in either one of those games. And now he's had such a good game plan and such good execution offensively here in Game 3 to try to get on the board and try to get an answer. He's got 5 runs off Wishbone, who's won how many Von Acesons, right? And Wishbone just keeps answering with more offense against Mush every time Mush jumps out to, a lead or gets something going. So, and not only that, but Mush has taken out both his good starting pitcher and one of his good relievers. One of his 2 good relievers has already been wasted, and we're only here in the 6th inning. And yet Mush finds himself down 5-10. I mean, what else can you do? You know what I mean?
Yeah, it's tough to deal with, tough to digest for Curse fans here.
You just got to tip your hat to Wishbone right now.
Wish definitely playing to all of the strengths. We know that he can, know that he has. He's got the Von Asen trophies and accolades. He's looking to put his name on the big trophy, the one you could argue matters most. He's looking to find a way into the World Series in what would be his first time. But let's not get ahead of ourselves. It's still Game 3. There's still basically half of this game to be played. We've talked about the late inning heroics so far this series. We know those have gone in the Astronauts' favor, but the Curse definitely are no stranger to late inning heroics, whether it's the regular season. We've seen it in the playoffs last year. We see a nice strikeout there from the Curse to get some sort of momentum stabilized in their favor.
Yeah, this is Mush's guy right here. Richard Bong is reverse splits 0 junk pitcher, and despite him not looking real formidable with the stats, he is kind of tough to hit against, as Mush locates those pitches very well. As you see, that one scrapes the zone. Yeah, right now he's looking for any kind of stop to keep Wishbone where it's at. Only 3 at-bats left for the Curse to try to get back in this thing. He's going to need twice as many runs as he already scored.
Yeah, we're certainly entering the final third of the game here. There are 2 outs. Great speed at first. And there's not much velo on this reliever, so we could see a steal attempt. We're not going to. On a 3-1 count, payoff pitch is driven into left field. It's another single for the Astronauts here. Interesting to see if we find ourselves in a pinch hit situation. I feel like it's just, you got to put your, foot to the floor here. You definitely got to pinch hit, try to drive this run in.
You do, but you're almost out of pitching if you wish. But Fury can go the 7th and the 8th. You got one more RP to get through the 9th. I would go ahead and lift her, but he did just put this pitcher in and has already used up 1 reliever so far. He does have the advantage of a 5-run lead to not have to worry about it too much. As you see, he goes down on 3 pitches. But,
yeah, you don't want
to. Not
to.
much of a net loss for Wish.
Yeah, you don't want to pigeonhole yourself by lifting the pitcher there and then the next inning or 2 going awry. And yeah, like you mentioned, there's not really much of a reason unless you just really felt like you had that reliever's number or something. So overall, it's a wise decision for Wish to continue with the pitcher here. As they've just crossed the 10-pitch threshold. That ball is caught by a jumping second baseman, nearly doubled up the runner at first. Had to just get his arm outstretched there, sliding back in.
Imagine how much confidence you have to have as Wishbone here to leave this pitcher in the game and actually go out there and expect to get outs. She's looking somewhere at like 30 velo, 50 accuracy, 0 jump. I mean, and that's being generous. And yet she's getting outs.
That changeup's going to find a bit more of the plate than Wish maybe wanted, and it's punished by going into right field for a 1-out single here. So John Cook will have his RBI hero trade activated as he takes strike 1 at the knees. Mush takes strike 2 here. He's got to be looking for something to hit. He might not get it though.
And you know, even though down 5 runs, you still get really nervous on the mound with a cushion like this when 2 guys get on base. The K collector gets a little extra mustard on that heater. Wish goes up and in and gets Mush to chase and be tardy. Blows it right by John Cuck for the second out.
That's a massive out as well. That's one of Mush's power bats, striking out with runners in scoring positions. Had the trait and everything. This one's going to find the zone. You can see Wish just absolutely nailing these corner pitches. Now with a 2-2 count, Mush has to defend it, and he does more than that as he drives this into center field. We're going to see great speed, rounding third. That's a sure run. Cuts the lead down to 4 as we still have the center fielder here who, yeah, okay, Brody Foundwood. I didn't want to mispronounce the name there. He takes a strike that counts 1-1 here. Runners first and second. Great speed. K collector activated now yet again and fails victim to it. It's going to be another strikeout for that SPRP.
And I think that might be the reason why Wish has confidence with that pitcher and why he wanted to leave her in, because not only to get some length out of her, but because he can locate so well. Just put on a masterclass right there. And that K collector, you know, you don't see that one used in the XBL a whole lot anymore these days, but Wish really got his money's worth there, going with the upstairs extra mustard heater, and it got Mush's bat to be late enough both times.
Yeah, great points, and that also, just to kind of cap that off, I mean, he was going off speed, low in the zone, so you know how tough it can sometimes be to see off speed back-to-back-to-back pitches, and then all of a sudden you got to deal with the high velo up and in on your hands. It's hard to time.
Absolutely, and Wish knows that, and then that extra juice with the K collector. I mean, even though the velo's low, it adds so much to your timing, especially at 93 ego. That just a brilliant game plan there by Wishbone. And unfortunate for Mush, he only got 1 out of that mess he was in. Still a 4-run ball game, and wow, this is the first time I think all night we've seen Wishbone go down 1, 2, 3 in order.
Yeah, we see the stat line there. Hits in favor of the Astronauts, runs in favor of the Astronauts. Curse looking to get some sort of momentum back on their side just for the series in general, looking for their first game of the series. But they're going to have to dig deep here now in the 8th inning. 1 out. Pinch hitter comes in. The rally starter trait. It's a great bench trait.
And you know, when you're chasing runs, especially late, and a guy mislocates right down the tube like the leadoff batter got, and you absolutely smoke it like Mush did, but it goes right to a fielder, I mean, that can be just such a deflating feeling when you're trying to fight back into such a big ball game like this. And both guys going to mirror each other here with 1, 2, 3 innings, back-to-back half innings here, something we have not seen a lot of here in Game 3.
Yeah, not what you want if you're a Curse fan, really hoping to chip away at the lead at any way possible. Now you're going to have to go through three dangerous batters here, the heart of the order in the 4-5-6 for the Astronauts. Bad ball hitting John Glenn, comes to the plate and right on cue sends that ball to the truck in center field. That's a solo shot here late for the Astronauts.
Man, bad ball hitter, that's all I can say.
451 on the tracker, and yeah, he got all of that one. Bad ball hitter, I don't really know if that even mattered. That pitch was absolutely smoked. As this pitch goes deep, it's not going to be quite as far, but it's an awkward line taken by the left fielder. He watches that one roll behind him, and it's going to be a double here for the Astronauts. That was a bit surprising. Ox, we typically see pretty strong defense from Mush.
That one was kind of like the one that went deep to center field early in the game off the wall, where you didn't know for sure if you had to jump. You don't know if maybe you can get there without diving, without jumping, and I think Mush needed to dive there. Oh, Wish is going to go for the diddle again, and he's going to be successful twice in this game at no-name tactics.
What are we seeing here, folks? Wish a monster on the base paths, just terrorizing these cursed players. As he sends a ball deep into right center. This one's sure to leave the yard. It's 3 rows back, and it's a 3-run home run for the Astronauts yet again.
You said it early, Vlad, before the game. Late game heroics, they've all been carried out by the Astronauts so far in this series, and Game 3 has been no different. We saw that almost exact sequence early in the game where Wish got a huge diddle. It was a killer for Mush, and then the very next batter just punishes a ball. And now this game has been blown open to 8 runs here in the 8th inning.
Yeah, the game is absolutely turned on its head. It was rather close for quite a few innings there. Wish started pulling away, and at one point had a 5-run lead that's now turned into an 8-run lead here in the 8th. And things are dire for the Curse. They still have to get their first out of this 8th inning. That'll work. That ball is hard hit, but it's caught by the right fielder.
Yeah, we have not seen a lot of weak contact by these hitters. You know, despite how good of a pitcher Mush is, Wishbone has not been missing the barrel, and he has not missed much on the mound. Just really, really good execution here by the Knots. I can't help but feeling like Mush has got to feel like the velo and the jump on some of these pitchers. You know, you can get away with 1 or 2 guys like that. I know he's down bad right now and probably deep into his bullpen, but I don't think you can get away with these kind of pitches and these kind of stats against the really good hitters. But at the same time, we see Wishbone getting away with it on the other side, so I don't know. But
yeah, as you mentioned that, I believe the pitcher's name is probably in that same spirit, probably down. I feel like that's the running theme here, which is just hilarious, Mush. So thanks for that little nugget. This one floated into center.
Wishbone finally mishits one.
Yeah. You can see all those walked-in players. Yeah. A great rally always starts with the leadoff hit. We see a leadoff single here. We've seen a lot of leadoff singles throughout the game. And it's do or die for the Curse here in the 9th inning, finding themselves down 8, hoping to push this reliever to the brink. They're going to need everything they have to tie this ball game.
Yeah, and if nothing else, you want to try to get the bats going, get some confidence back heading into Game 4. What a front door cutter there, nasty from Wishbone. Gets him frozen for the first out. Like I was saying, you know, this one probably out of reach. We've seen crazy comebacks before, but even if you can just get 2 or 3 runs here and feel good about your swing heading into Game 4, could be a huge lift for Mush.
Yeah, I mean, Wish has found himself in, you know, certainly a different scenario earlier in the regular season, but against God's Unicorn, that was a 8 or 9 run lead in the later innings, right?
Bring that one up. Bring it. Tell us all about it.
Yeah, so Wish has been in this situation and seen it all slip through his hands. He's trying to learn from that moment and show that he's not going to let that happen again, but we have the bases loaded on a 3-0 count. Miss it. Oh, no, he hit the zone. I thought he missed it. So it's a 3-1 hitters count now. This one finds the plate and we go full.
Blue wants to get out of here early.
It's an RBI single back up the middle, station to station. Lead is now at 7. Curse are entering the bottom third of the batting order.
I got to point out, like, especially the 2 diddles, just every scoring play that Wishbone has had in this game just gets magnified by 100 here late, because Mush has found his way to 7 runs, now going to be 8 with that base hit. He's made this 8-14, and how many times, if you're Mush, have you scored 8 runs in a game, and yet it still be this out of reach? You know what I mean? If he could have just limited the damage 1 or 2 of those innings, and he's just popping off here in the 9th.
Yeah, it'll be 2 more runs. It's now a 4-run ball game, and the batter on deck is the tying run. Mush has
Oh my
used
goodness.
much of his pinch hitters, but he saved his best one for last maybe here. We're going to see Wish now have to go to the reliever, and the shades of God's Unicorn game are starting to come out as this game is
Speak it
within
into
reach.
existence.
Ball's hit to the third baseman, on to second,
No.
and on to first, and to
No.
kill all the hearts out there of Curse fans. Wish shuts the door late in the 9th after what was shaping up to be one of the best comebacks of all time.
Wow, Zlotty, what a game 3. That was a treat to watch. Both guys, you know, really brought their A game, and Mush really went down fighting there in the 9th, but it was not enough as the Knots score 14 runs and give up 10. I mean, they threw every single narrative coming into this game and this series and flipped it on its head. I mean, we talked about how good of pitchers these guys were, how each game was a pitching duel. You know, games 1 and 2, it was the first 1 to 4 runs is going to win. And now tonight we see 14 to 10. I mean, I did not see that coming, but we got a treat of a baseball game there.
Yeah, it was a great game between those two. You know, Mush really he changed the narrative in the early stages of the game. You know, the series just wasn't showing anything offensively. He started to get some runs together, but as you pointed out earlier, those diddle moments really started to become magnified in the later stages of the game after Wish was able to
Those won
amount
the
so
game.
many runs. I mean, yeah, we'll have to run the tape back at some point just to kind of see hypothetically what could have been, but that's not a real take, of course. You know, I mean, the complexion of everything changes if those outs are made. So who knows what would have happened? But it's fun to joke about. Sit tight here, folks. We'll get Game 4 queued up here and fired up in just a quick moment for you. Alrighty, folks, Game 4. Series is on the line for the Curse.
Oh, and look how laggy it already is in the loading screens. Typical here at Parquet. One of the most cringe stadiums you could use. Beautiful, but let's hope, you know, in a Game 4 of an XBL semifinal, lag is not a player.
Yeah, we've been rather fortunate lately for Metalhead servers to not be completely killer. We're still able to get a lot of these great games in. Hope to see a clean, stable game, of course, here as Mush.
And just like Game 3's lot, he walks Gus Grissom.
Do you think that's a lag pitch with the quick chatting by Mush?
Hard to say. You know, he's got the home field advantage, so what can you do there? But you don't want to be walking Gus Grissom in the top of the first or the bottom of the first like we've seen in Game 3 and 4 now. Guy couldn't hit his way out of a wet paper bag and give him a free pass.
Oh, swings on strike 3. That pitch was not in the zone there.
It's just so tough to deal with when you're facing a good hitter like Wishbone in the meat of his order, having to worry about wasting 1 or 2 pitches on a pitch out, maybe throwing an extra fastball or 2 to give yourself a chance on the throw. But I'll tell you right now, with his speed and with stealer trait, there is no pitch you can throw to get him out on a straight steal attempt. It has to be a pickoff or a pitch out.
This ball lined to the second baseman. And fortunately for Astronaut fans and Wish right there, he wasn't stealing because that would have doubled the runner up, certainly. Brings John Glenn into the batter's box now. He's got that bad ball hitter trait. We've seen a pair of home runs from him this series. Stealer activated, and as you mentioned, he's cleanly safe in there.
Yeah, really not even close. And then bad ball hitter goes out of the zone on a cutter, up the middle. Gus going to come around the he's going to be out.
Gunned out. Really wasn't close. It was by a step and a half there. Great throw from the center fielder and fielded cleanly by the catcher there. Applies the tag and ends the inning. Got to feel good if you're Mush.
Yeah, that was actually a much better first inning. Well, he did get out of the first inning in Game 3 as well with the 0, but could have been a lot worse there.
Hey, what's that? What's that, Ox? A leadoff hit? Have we seen one of those yet tonight?
We've only seen the leadoff guy get out a handful of times in this set tonight, as we already see both leadoff batters with stealer trait reach base in their first at-bats, and both guys steal second base successfully, following that game formula, game plan to a T.
Yeah, I'm curious to see if we're going to get a bunt here. No, he's going to go contact swing. That's kind of surprising.
The not bunting?
Yeah, I just feel like his game plan, you know, before to bunt him over, usually with one out, of course, it's not going to make sense to bunt him from second to third and get another out, but in that case, I was expecting a bunt over to third.
You know, one thing that Wishbone, as good of a pitcher as he is, oh my.
Oh, what a catch!
Oh my!
Gus Grissom living up to his name there, gets the mojo boost, doubles up the runner to end the first inning.
No way, Zlat. Throw the challenge flag. There's no way that ball didn't hit the ground. There's no way. Mush was already rounding third, headed for home. He was like, oh, that one's down.
Yeah, we see the head shake and the hand motion there under the chin from the Curse manager electing to not challenge. What a great double play there for the Astronauts. Get the nice mojo boost as a little cherry on top.
Oh, fair miss down the middle there. Oh, whiffer activated, and Wish goes back up the middle.
Metalhead rearing its lag head here.
Yeah, this is not what you want to see in a playoff game.
I guess, thankfully, it wasn't a gapper or something that could have been more impactful as a single, and there's a back-to-back single here with no outs to start the second inning. A wild throw, and the runners are advancing. Oh my goodness, John Cook decided to run into the infield grass instead of chasing the runner down, and everybody's safe.
I'm counting that as another diddle that Wishbone diddled his way out of. And if anything we learned in Game 3 is that right after a successful diddle by the Knots, doom is going to strike the curse.
This ball grounded to third is going to be a quickly turned double play, so runner at third, but at the cost of 2 outs here, Jack Schmidt enters the game, and he's going to be walked, so we're going to see the pitcher have to get the job done here for the Astronauts. It's Chris Hadfield. Oh, that was a pitch to hit.
Yeah, smart to walk the 8-hole there. Not smart to throw a meaty curveball first pitch.
He chases inside. I'm not even sure if that was in the zone, but it's going to end the inning. So we haven't seen any runs just quite yet, but we've seen a ton of action on the base paths between these two already.
Wow. I mean, if you're Mush, you've got to be tickled you haven't given up a run yet, because so many things could have gone Wishbone's way there early. Still got a 0-0 game here, bottom of the second. And actually, if you're Wishbone, you got to be kind of fortunate that you didn't give up a run in the first inning after Mush got multiple base hits and a few lineouts on bad pitches. So both guys getting a little bit fortunate on the mound here early in Game 4.
Yeah, we don't see a leadoff single this time from the Curse, but we do see a 1-out single back up the middle. It's going to be the off-speed hitting Dub Dixon now.
And you know, one thing I talked about in the Mama June versus Mush series is when you get to this part of the season, this point in the playoffs, you're going to be facing hitters who are so good, they're going to get hits, right? Even if you pitch perfectly, you can't stop them from getting hits. And we've seen that play out here for both guys. I mean, every inning it seems like we have 1, 2, 3 base runners, right? As there's another one by Mush. It really comes down to keeping your composure and how good you can pitch out of these jams, how much you can limit the damage. And it just feels like you're fighting for your life every single batter. I felt the same way against Spaceman in our series so far. I mean, it's just been, you got no answer for the guy. You can only just try to make a good pitch and pray things go your way.
As we see a great pitch there by Wish. On the previous pitch, it was a two-seamer cutting in on the inside. Then he goes outside.
This is a joke.
Yeah, it's tough to watch. It's even tougher to be a player and sitting here having to deal with it.
Right. I mean, that was a great pitch there, that last one by Wishbone right on the corner. But when you see it lag that badly, you got to wonder, did that play any part in the previous pitches? Mush drives this one deep to center, but his home park is going to hold that ball in the yard. And so we've seen a lot of action, it feels like, 2 innings left, but we haven't seen any runs come across.
Yeah, 3 hits aside with tons of base runners, and we're going to see another one. It's a leadoff ball down the line. Decent arm. The runner's going to have to turn back, so it stays as a leadoff single. And yeah, I mean, we continue to see base runners enter the game. This one hard hit to the second baseman, perfectly at the fielder, and a bit unlucky for the Astronauts as that turns into a double play.
Absolutely scalded right at the second baseman. Can't get any better luck than that if you're Mush, but you know, to be fair, it was a really good pitch as well. How many times have we said leadoff base hit or leadoff base runner hit tonight?
Yeah, it's kind of crazy. It's got to be at least like 8 or 9 almost at this point.
Oh my goodness, what was that? See, like right there, who knows what could have actually happened.
This ball, 85 on the power swing. It's trailing
It's
left
going.
center. It is going over the barrier. It's a solo shot here by the Astronauts. Yet again, going deep this series. A 428-foot bomb by Ken Mattingly.
Wow. You know, one thing about Parquet, if you hit a home run here, you absolutely earned it, as Wishbone put a charge into that one.
This ball hard hit by John Glenn. The jumping third baseman was not able to get there. There's not enough speed on John Glenn, so that's going to have to stay as a single, but I wasn't quick enough to say, you know, for Mush, one of the worst feelings after giving up a home run is the next batter being John Glenn. Like, you just gave up a home run, and you're like, oh, hey, don't give up another one.
Well, Mind Gamer is such a tough tough trait to pitch through when you're on the mound. I mean, it's so hard to locate no matter how much accuracy your pitcher has, and you know, bad ball hitter to boot. So yeah, I mean, it's also another thing frustrating if you're Mush to be down 3-0, backs against the wall, and now you're trying to fight against a really good pitcher like Wishbone when you also have lag to deal with. So it's not only is it hard to play through, it's hard to keep a good mental composure through that.
Yeah, we're seeing the Curse down to literally their last life here in terms of playoff games, as that's a nice walk drawn there to get a base runner, but yeah, I mean, the lag, all the drama and tension, the fact that you're down 3-0 in the series, Mush is really having to dig deep, and you know, every at-bat feels so critical You want to get some kind of production. Even a walk is fine.
Yeah, he's gotten the leadoff guy on 2 out of the first 3 innings, and last inning got the second batter on. Pitcher takes off. Oh my
He's gonna be doubled up. The ball goes straight to the first baseman and is caught. Oh man, it's a tough look out there.
Things are just not going the Curse's way. I think Mush saw a black cat in real life walk past him before the set went down.
Oh man. This lag will not cut it out.
Not fun to deal with. And you know, another thing that one of Wishbone's weaknesses, he doesn't have many of them, but even though he's such a good pitcher, he does tend to leave red circles in the zone sometimes. That is one of his, you know, we all do it, but especially with Hadfield, he's got the wild thing trait. So Mush is definitely going to try to capitalize on any mistakes thrown by Hadfield, especially with that wild thing in play. But hard to do anything when Wish makes a pitch like that right after a lag storm.
Yeah, I mean, full transparency here. I was not told of any, you know, specific lag incidents or restarts or anything. So as far as I'm aware, this game is gonna go start to finish the whole way in one go. Tough to see those moments for sure. I've been victim to it myself. There's just really nothing you can say except offer your condolences. But Curse, I mean, I don't know, this kind of goes with digging deep. They're just going to have to find a way to get it done, and they find themselves back on the mound here. It's another leadoff base runner for the Astronauts. They've been able to get out of some of these jams and with double plays induced. Might have to hope for one here as the count goes 3-0. Wish had the green light on a 98 power swing. That ball is smoked into center field. Center fielder jumps, is not going to come up with it. It's a 2-run blast by Wishbone yet again, going deep here. We see Metalhead sprinkle a little lag in there in the animation for us, rubbing in the salt to the wound for Mush. Gotta feel tough for him.
Yeah, the game is just trolling him at this point. You gotta feel like, you know, pretty powerless if you're Mush. But again, you gotta tip your cap to Wishbone. He went deep to one of the deepest parts of Parquet twice now. You know, and even if you get those pitches to go deep on, it's still hard to execute. It's, you know, not miss them, put the bat to the ball, and there's another base hit by Wish.
That was the pitcher, wasn't it?
Yeah, I think so. Cringe Gus steps in now, locked in already, and that's one of the things I talked about before this set went down, is you got to keep Gus off the bases, and he's been locked in early of both games here.
Yeah, it goes without saying, but I mean, having that stealer trait and the near guarantee of the stolen base to help boost the mojo, plus he's in center field, right? He made that nice double play to slide and double up the runner, guaranteeing the mojo boost. So we're probably not going to see.
Just off a walk and a diving play, he's locked in.
Yeah, exactly. So we're going to see him locked in much of the game unless he strikes out, but he's going to find the ball through the middle infield there for a base hit. So keep an eye on his mojo through the next at bat. He could very well be on fire.
Yeah, don't even say that about Gus. We don't want to see that. You know, one thing that I hate about Gus the most, Lottie, is I tried to make my center... Oh, great pitch by Mush there. It's going to be a double play. I tried to make my center fielder on my team a Gus clone this season. I was like, you know, if Wish can do that and be that nasty, I'm going to try it myself. And he didn't live up to what Gus is. He's inferior. And only Wish can do it with a guy like that. Oh, my goodness, Mush.
Big moment as Mush sends a rage home run into left field. That's Buddy get wrecked, and that ball just got wrecked. 424 feet, he got all of that one.
That was one of those rare missed spots we saw by Wish. Threw it right over the heart of the plate, and Mush didn't miss it. We don't see that much out of the Curse offense, but man, he crushed that ball.
that home run is just an instant reminder for the Curse here that they are not out of this ball game by any means. It's now a 2-run game. There's a single down the right field line. But, I mean, that was a no-doubter, and that could be what kickstarts the runs here to come out for the Curse, as it's another base hit down the opposite foul line. Runners at first and second. There's nobody out here.
Yeah, I was going to say the home run technically counts as a leadoff batter reaching base, but Mush wasn't satisfied. He got the next 2 to reach base as well. Still nobody out. 6-hole hitter up. How often do you see a guy paint both lines on back-to-back hitters? You see a bunt here's that.
Oh, he elects not to bunt. Still going to be the same. Never mind. It's dropped by the covering pitcher at first base. Everybody's safe. The bases are now loaded here in the bottom of the 4th. You can see the pressure meter climbing as the center fielder, Brody Foundwood, finds himself in the batter's box. Count goes 1-1. We're seeing red reticles all over the place, and that ball is painted into right center. It's going to reach the wall and score all 3. It's going to be a bases clearing triple. Oh, the center fielder drops the ball. Oh, what a sequence of events here, Ox. The Curse lead 4-3.
In the blink of an eye, we just saw this game turn on its head. It was 3-0 Knox. Now it's
after a wag sequence there, and score says 5-3. We play on.
My goodness. And here's that tricky K collector reliever we saw last game do such a good job. But yeah, you were just saying how Mush shouldn't count himself out of this. And just like that, he puts up 5 with nobody out. Well, the 5th run came in on an out, but
yeah, just a chaotic sequence there, and I mean that's what Mush can do, and really anyone at the top level in the XBL can do. It's just one thing after another. Singles that feel somewhat harmless in the moment start to add up. Takes advantage of a pitch there to send it into right center field and clears the bags. All of a sudden, this game is flipped on its head here. The Curse pull the lead. We're going to have to see how long that can be held for, because in Game 3 they had the lead out a few times and Wish was able to exchange blows, come out ahead. So we'll enter the top of the 5th now and see how the Curse handle themselves on the mound with the 2-run lead.
Wow, and a great adjustment there by Wishbone. He stopped the bleeding immediately. He went to the pin. I told you to watch for that Wild Thing, and we saw Wild Thing engage quite a few times there in that rally by the Curse. As Wish puts a charge into another one.
Oh, the jumping center fielder almost had a chance there to snag it. What a moment, but yeah, it's another deep bomb by Wish. As I was saying, let's see how long this lead can hold up here for the Curse. Each time they've had it, it's slipped through their hands. And wouldn't you know it? Yeah, so that was the 2nd home run of the game there by, I believe, Ken Mattingly. So 2 solo shots for him in this game alone. And we're going to see John Glenn at the plate here with the bad ball hitter, mind gamer. And I'll say paired with the lag, that is an absolutely deadly combo for Mush to have to deal with.
Here, I'll tell you how to deal with this guy. Hit R2 and B.
Well, John Cuck will take care of that one. That'll be the first out of the 5th inning. The Wishbone looks to equalize here. Alan Shepard to the plate now. Looks to be contact swinging. The ball into the glove of the shortstop. He gets up and throws in time. What a cannon there at short. Great play to get the out by just half a step.
Yeah, Dive Wizard was big on that one, but even with Dive Wizard, you don't see many shortstops dive in the hole to the backhand side and be able to get up and throw out a high-speed base runner to first.
There's a great reticle from Wishbone to get a single into right field, so it's a 2-out single trying to keep this inning alive here. Buzz Aldrin's power trade is activated. It's going up against the reverse splits, so it's relatively negated. It's just the contact of the batter that's impacted the most here, as we see the count go even at 1-1. Oh, just barely clipping the zone high. Mush Going with the high heat, surely that was not the intended location.
A bit of a waste pitch to get exactly that result, you know, show him something slower in a different part of the zone on the very next one, and it worked perfectly. So a good job there by the Curse, but they do give up the solo, and for the first time in a long time, Mush is going to make a leadoff out.
And the guy to kickstart it all earlier in the game, Buddy Get Wrecked, is back into the batter's box here.
See, like that pitch there, you know, Wishbone knows Mush is never going to go with that, but it's set up the next pitch, which is the high heater, you know, totally different pitch, totally different spot. And you'll also notice how much better Wish is locating now with this reliever than he was with this starting pitcher.
Gets the velo fastball outside corner, and it's fanned on by Buddy Get Wrecked, so he'll have to find his swing from earlier in the game as we move on now to Smash Herman. Looking to smash a fastball, but I don't know if he's going to get one again here. It's a curveball low in the zone. He does get a fastball, and he drives it into right center field. The diving right fielder comes up short. That'll be 2 bases at least, probably 3. It's hard to say with the lag and stuttering, but it should be a stand-up triple here for the Curse with 2 outs.
That was a train wreck of a triple. Huck's going to step in here with RBI hero active and 2 outs. Interesting to see Wishbone even pitch to him. I might maybe take my chances with the next guy.
Just thinking the same thing. I don't recall off the top of my head, I don't have it pulled up who the 6th spot hitter is, but these stats are no joke here.
I think it's Brody Foundwood.
Oh.
Oh.
Can tell by the launch angle. That thing goes high into the
Does
night
he catch
sky.
it, though? Does he catch it? It is caught. That's one where we could have seen, you know, the shortstop run all the way out to center field and the ball just drop because you don't know what's happening.
As things stand, the Curse are still leading this game here by a score of 5-4. But we've seen the Astronauts, they're prone to hit long ball home runs. They've hit at least 2, maybe even 3 this game. We've just been seeing some really great reticles by Wish. We're getting into the part of the chess game now, Ox. We're seeing pinch hitters, seeing relievers come in and out of the game.
Yeah, and honestly, this is my favorite part about the league and about the game is the chess matching, the using your bench pieces, the lack of a designated hitter. It changes so much about how you go through. I mean, if you had a DH, you wouldn't even have to think about any of this. It would just be like, oh, pitcher's tired or it's time to go to the pen. But with the pitcher hitting for themselves, your bench becomes important. How you use each pitcher becomes important. And, you know, Wish took out his SBRP, who did a great job. I mean, she came in and stopped the bleeding in that 5-run inning, gave him 2 more innings of good baseball. And now Valentina's going to take the mound. We saw her get roughed up a bit in Game 3.
Takes care of business there to get the leadoff ground out. Going to be Brody Foundwood back into the box yet again. Going to try to watch the ball, but it's kind of difficult when the lag rears its head.
You know, we need to have a league office investigation here, Zlat, because the pitchers that have metalhead as their trait actually seem to induce more lag. So perhaps 3D chess there by Wishbone, knowing when the lag's going to come.
That is, I gotta be like, I just have to say that was probably the worst at bat sequence with 2 lag pitches for strikes and then, you know, Wish going inside cutter or inside 2-seamer. You hate to see that.
We need to investigate our commissioner, folks.
We have Big Brother Metalhead looking in here, turning the lag switch on at will, it seems, as there's another strikeout. for the curse here. They do retain their lead. It's still a 5-4 ball game.
Wish doing an excellent job with his bullpen so far. And Richard Long, he's only given up the long solo home runs so far. But you see those stats starting to dip, relying on reverse splits to nerf the bats of the knots is his only hope.
Yeah, Neil Armstrong also tense, so definitely, oh. Well, the lag continues to be a problem and continues to be a factor here. You see a lag pitch go way high to walk the batter. And now Ken Mattingly's homered twice this game. I'm pretty confident. He's only walked in.
Now pitching, Punchy Palmer.
Takes a lot to get on fire.
Yeah, probably just needs a base hit or something to stretch him into it. Maybe an extra base hit, but he's going to try and take advantage here. He's going to have to deal with the specialist in Punchy Palmer. He's got a 40.5 ERA in this playoff set. Not what you like to see, and speaking of not liking to see.
Mush missed by like 6 feet the pitch before that, and then he throws a fastball that speeds up mid-frame. You know, like, just, there's another one. Just, you don't want to see this in a playoff game.
Yeah, my heart goes out to both players here. I wish the game allowed for some sort of like pausing mechanism, or we could adjust the timers, the amount of time allotted for the menus, something. But yeah.
Well, how about a save? You know, like when you play a franchise game, you could say finish later. Why can't that exist for online leagues? You know what I mean? Let's back out, keep everything exactly as it was, and we load into a new game, see if we get better servers or whatever it might be. And instead, your options are fight through it or forfeit and then bunt 7 innings.
Well, Mush is trying to find an answer here. He finds a double play here. So there's now 2 outs in the top of the 7th, although the tying run is standing there 90 feet away. Alan Shepard, contact hitter at the plate.
And he's not loading for the power swing, so he is going to be contact swinging as Punchy can't find the zone here. 3-0.
You do not want to give a cookie pitch down the middle, but this guy also has stealer, so you don't want to give him the free bag either.
Yeah, but Lovell's on deck and Aldrin after that. There's just no alternative. You got to pitch to him here and hope that the low stats keep him from getting a base hit, but you also got the lag to deal with.
He had the green light on 3-0. He fouls it away. He has the green light
ball
here.
4.
Gonna
That's why
sneak
you
into
got to
right
play
field.
shallow.
Yeah, it sneaks into right field there. That's going to tie the ball game. Now we have a Steeler traded base runner there on first base.
Tough for Mush there because you could argue both the first 2 guys reached due to lag.
Yeah, I don't want to take anything away from Wish, of course. It's just really unfortunate the lag has kind of sucked the wind out of the sails for the game. And we see another walk issued here, so hopefully the lag is kind of died down a bit. But this game is very quickly turned on its head. We're now in the 7th inning, runner in scoring position. Buzz Aldrin at the plate with his power trait active. Watches a great cutter hit the zone. And he's just a hair early on that pitch there. He runs the count even at 2-2. And a great pitch by Mush to catch the outside upper corner. Strike 3 issued.
Amazing pitch there after missing with the second strike over the plate, getting the foul. 2 of those 3 strikes were perfect backdoor cutters.
Yeah, if you're Mush, that result there was exactly what you needed. Because if you allow a lead change, I think your demeanor, your mentality is like already stretched so thin.
Yeah, I would have been so tilted trying to play this game, and I don't know if I would have even fought back the way Mush has, but then to try to hold the lead becomes that much harder. And yeah, like you said, if he'd have given up that 6th run there, that would have just might have been the nail in the coffin. But he lives on to fight in a tie game, bottom 7th. Great pitch there by Wishbone for the strikeout looking. One thing Wish has done a great job of, Zlat, is ever since that 5-run outburst by the Curse, we've seen a lot of leadoff hitters not reach base.
Yeah, Wish has definitely made the right adjustments there to limit or prevent base runners for the Curse. He's also just tantalizing the ball around the zone here, seemingly throwing strikes at will at this point. This one's going to be shot back up the gap there for a 2-out hit.
Yeah, that's one thing that makes him so hard to hit off of, is his strikes are located so perfectly, and his balls barely miss by inches, right? So it becomes really tough to know what to swing at, because you're always going to have to dive into one of those corners if you want to get a hit, but you also don't want to chase.
See the low pitch activated on the bad ball hitter. Buddy get wrecked. He gets a 2-out RBI, or excuse me, a 2-out single to advance the runner now. 1st and 2nd. Smash Herman steps in. We saw him clear the bases earlier using that fastball hitter trait. Be interesting to see if he gets a fastball to hit. There's an off speed. We're going to see a fastball below the zone, and Mush's eye is way too good to try and chase for that. Wish tries to go up in the zone. It's off speed, and it's going to drop. That's going to... Oh, okay. Saw a bit of a button mistake for a half second.
Screwed that up.
Yeah, you almost didn't score the run, but it is converted. Great piece of hitting there from Mush, and a great eye. Took advantage of the off-speed curveball that was up in the zone. This one trickles to the shortstop. Kind of hurts, but hey, at least you got the lead back.
Yeah, that's one of those where I've had many at-bats like that where you're rallying, you've got some big runs on base. Mush even had RBI hero activated there with Tuck, and swung early in the count out of the zone. Those hurt because Wishbone was on the ropes there. That could have turned it, one gapper turns this game on its head. But the Curse do take the lead in the top of the 8th now. Valentina did a pretty good job, but she's going to be lifted. And the lag is back.
At the worst possible time. Gordo Cooper, don't know if we've said his name too often here. Looks like it might be his first at bat for the series. Pinch hitting now.
Wabo Uckles, that's my guy on the ninth bench.
Yeah, we saw him, I believe, last game. I don't know that we've seen him earlier. But a nice outside pitch yet again. That was a pitch that Mush utilized in the previous inning to get the 3rd out. This time gets a strikeout for out number 2 here in the 8th. Gus Grissom steps into the batter's box. Count now at 2-0. He's still locked in from those plays earlier in the game. Keen eye. Hitters count. Watches a curveball down the heart of the plate.
Oh, he's begging for a walk.
He's not going to get it.
Down.
Yeah, he's not going to get it. Watches strike 3. And we will go to the bottom of the 8th here for the Curse to have a chance at extending their lead, trying to add any sort of insurance runs that they can.
Mush doing everything he can to force a continuation of this series and go to a game 5.
Mush goes down on strikes there, but yeah, I mean, this series has felt close, like we mentioned a couple times now. Games 1 and 2, Wish pulled away. Game 3 was a similar story, although, Mush started a really impressive comeback, ultimately fell short, but his bats have come alive in the later innings. This time here, he still has the lead now entering the ninth for the first time in the series. Has the opportunity to just need 3 outs and add a tally to his side of the games won for the series.
Flag rearing its head again, and in game 2, Mush had a 2-0 lead and lost. In game 3, he had multiple leads. There was multiple lead changes and ties. And ultimately, Wishbone ended up taking the lead. As the leadoff batter's going to reach here, great play off the wall to keep him with just a single. That easily could have been, if that was played any other way by Mush, it was a double.
Look
but
at
as I was
these
saying,
stats.
oh my goodness. Anyway.
If you're Mush, honestly, you'll take that single.
Yeah, but look who it is.
I know. John Glenn tries to live up to his name. It's a bad ball hitter moment, and he hits that ball to the wall in left center field. It's going to score 2 runs. We're going to see yet another lead change. A huge, massive 9th inning double.
And all 3 of those balls were just smoked. You had the leadoff one right down the right field line. You had Ken Mattingly locked in out of his mind, juiced one to right field, and then the bad ball hitter smokes one in the left center field gap. And now that single turns into a double. So just a nightmare start to this 9th inning for the Curse.
Yeah, this reliever cannot catch a break every time he's entered the game. It's just been a nightmare over and over and over. He can't seem to shake it, and yet again a ball hit back up the middle to center field. It's station to station. It's another RBI, and there is still no outs here. And now Jack Schmidt steps into the batter's box with clutch. His stats are monstrous as this ball's lifted into center field. And it sneaks over the wall. It's a 9th inning grand slam for the Astronauts as they look to secure their spot in the World Series.
Unbelievable 9th inning here by the Knots. What can you say, Zlad? I mean, every hitter so far has just smoked whatever Stiffner has thrown up there. A lot of them first pitch swings.
Yeah, Wish certainly not afraid to swing first pitch, and he's made Mush pay time and time again. It's a huge 9th inning. Astronauts entered the inning down a run, and they've scored enough to take a huge lead. It'll be 12-6, and now there's 2 outs, excuse me.
Yeah, he's still not done yet. Went out of the zone to get that one, I think, but hit hard yet again. And oh my goodness, Ken's back up again.
Yeah, we're back to that part of the lineup that's just nearly impossible to navigate. So many home runs in the heart of the order.
Yeah, the guy on first is 2 for 2 in the inning.
I don't know if Mush has anyone to go to if he wanted. I mean, this guy's been rattled. We've seen quite a few pitchers already.
At this point, your backup first baseman would be a better pitcher than Stiffner because he's just said, look at that ERA.
Yeah, Wish he's had his number the entire series. He finds a strikeout there. It might be too little too late. It's a 7 spot, a crooked number in the 9th for the Astronauts to take a huge lead. Jock Stiffner. He's sent to the batter's box and quickly replaced by Matt Stairs.
Matty Stairs, what a goat.
We saw in Game 3 an attempted heroic effort in the 9th inning by the Curse, trying to claw their way back into the game. This will be a lead-off ground out to second base, 1 away, and 2 very, very valuable outs remaining for the Curse.
Well, like you said, late inning heroics is really what every single game in this series has come down to. In all 4 games, Wishbone has been the one with the goods. I mean, we did see an incredible comeback in the 9th in Game 3 by Mush, but not before all the late inning heroics that the Knots had already accomplished, and just a devastating 7 spot in the top of this 9th inning. I mean, if you're Mush, what more can you do?
Yeah, Wish has absolutely gone out and taking this game, by storm here. He was trailing, as I'll repeat myself, he was trailing entering the ninth. He found himself down a run and just opened up the floodgates. Offense was clicking on all cylinders. Explodes for a 7 spot. Mush is going to need to find something here, but he strikes out swinging for out number 2. Down to his final out, it's Buddy Get Wrecked, who hit a solo shot early in this game to open the scoring, hoping to extend the lives of the curse here.
And there's lag for one last hitter here, possibly, showing its head again. And you gotta hope that none of those pitches Mush through in the top of the ninth were affected by lag, but obviously you can't take anything away from Wishbone. I mean, he was smoking one pitch after the other, and some of them were really well-located pitches, so...
This one sent to center field. It's gonna do it indeed. The Astronauts find themselves on the victorious side against the curse here in Game 4, and that will be the 4th win of the series. It's a sweep as the Astronauts have staked their claim into the Season 18 World Series. And what a show we just were put on by both of these guys here, Ox.
Yeah, I mean, if nothing else, it was a highly entertaining series and just a lot of great baseball by both guys. You got to tip your cap to both of them, but I was not expecting a Wishbone sweep in this series. He really came out hitting it. If I was playing Wishbone or Mush, for that matter, in a series, my goal would be to score 5 or 6 runs. If I can score that many and then hold them to fewer, it's going to be a battle. It's going to be close. But that would be my goal, to score 5 or 6 off them, because they're both really good pitchers. And Mush did that here tonight in Game 3 and 4. He scored 6 and 10 respectively, and wasn't close. By the end of the game, he wasn't even close to winning. So what more can you really do if you're Mush? My heart goes out to him, but I certainly tip my cap to Wishbone. He just he put the full court press on in this series, and he came away with all 4 games late in the game, and that's what clutch players do.
Yeah, just kudos to both of those guys. They put on a great show for us. That was a series that everybody thought would shape up to be exciting, and I'd say it still was. It was super entertaining. I suppose I'd say a sweep doesn't feel like it does it justice in some ways on Mush's side of things, but to some of the points you made, it still is fair from Wish going out and really digging deep when he needed to. He was so clutch when he needed to, and really just put the long ball to use. Home run after home run. I'd be interested to go back and count up how many he had that series. I'd say it's at least close to 10, and that is, very impressive against a pitcher at the caliber of Mush. So great job by both of those guys. Hats off to them. Thanks, of course, to Wish for recording and providing those games for us. Any other final wrapped up thoughts you got for us here, Ox?
Just you said it all, man. Just a great series by both guys, great seasons by both guys, and it's always sad when one guy's season has to end, but Wishbone making his first ever appearance in an XBL World Series. He's worked very hard to get to this point. He's waited a long time for this opportunity. Mush had his chance last season and beat Wishbone in this exact spot last season to get there, so bit of revenge for the Knots, and good luck to them as they try to win their first ever World Series. Tune in tomorrow night to see if it's against myself or Spaceman. One of us will also be making our first ever appearance in the XBL World Series. And no matter if it's me or Space, going to be a crazy series taking on Wishbone. He's been the 1 seed all year long. He's now in the final stage. And you couldn't ask for anything else out of these playoffs. They've been great. Yeah, maybe no lag. That's one thing I'd ask for.
Yeah, the only thing we'd change, if we could, I guess, is, no lag throughout any games. But yeah, it was a great way of putting it there. You said it all. Great job by all these guys here. And yeah, tune in to the Discord for announcements on the final showcase or potential final showcase. I believe our plan is to show games 5 and 6. As we know, the series between you and Spaceman stands at 2 apiece right now. So we're guaranteed a game 6. If there is a potential game 7, that'll likely go into a separate broadcast. So just kind of stay tuned to the Discord, folks. But thanks for joining us here. Thank you to Ox for joining me this evening. And I think we'll wrap it off there. We'll check everybody out in the Discord. Have you guys a great evening. Take care.
Thanks, guys. Thanks a lot for producing, and have a great night.